So this is really strange, and I usually don't make videos this late, but this is from 2 days ago, and a subscriber sent me this, and Google and Micron joined CERN Open Lab. So I was reading about CERN and looking at what CERN was up to and what CERN was doing and so forth and so on. Nothing too concerning, because every piece of information they put out is scrubbed, so there's nothing really here unless you can read between the lines. So I'm looking at it, and Google joining CERN, is what it is. Google is basically Skylab, and they're taking over the world. NASA can't go up into outer space, even though they like to keep people distracted by thinking that. CERN was built to kick a hole in the firmament. NASA pretends they go up into outer space and go to places like this, even though they can't. Now, this was taken last night with a Nikon P1000. You can see the oceans right here. And that's the actual moon. I'm zoomed in perfectly. And as you can see, the moon is not round whatsoever at all. And it goes up and disappears into the clouds. But NASA tells us they've landed on this with the help of Russia, so forth and so on. But they can't. Because I'm standing here looking at the moon at 5:30 at night on November 24th using a Nikon P1000, and directly behind me, 180 degrees behind me, the sun just set an hour ago. Now, from what NASA has taught us, the moon, if it's truly lit by the sun, couldn't possibly be directly in front of me, lit up, because the sun's on the other side of the earth. So the moon should be in some sort of a quarter or a half phase, because the earth is blocking the sun. And yet it isn't. Not at all. The only thing that blocks this out is when it goes up into the chemtrail sky, it completely and totally disappears. Now, I'm going to show you something in this video. Stand by. I'm still on the CERN thing. But I'm going to show you something here. Stand by. Now let me show you something. You see that? The moon is rising in the east. There's the time. I'm at sea level. 1 hour ago, the sun set directly over there an hour ago. And yet when I turn 180 degrees, I'm somehow looking directly at the moon, coming right over the water's edge. That's the Atlantic Ocean. And it is fully illuminated. Now, the Earth is blocking the sun. The moon should be partially lit, if anything at all. And yet tonight, last night, the night before, the moon came up an hour after the sun went down and was wholly illuminated. And mind you, it's at least 35% larger when it comes up. Okay, so again, NASA claims that they landed on this item right here that's somehow 35% larger, and I understand atmospheric lensing. But when I put a camera on a ship that you can't see until you zoom in, it isn't larger. So this isn't what people think it is. NASA can't land on it. Thereby, instead of going back or pretending to go back to the moon, they do this. They build this place, and then they give it a social media platform. They've got it on YouTube, and CERN puts out happy videos, and they fool around, and they're good pals and good friends. And then suddenly, I see news stories like this pop up today, which is really, really strange. A dark matter hurricane is headed our way. What?
And it feels to me like the stumbling block is, as you say, not a lack of respect, but just the sense that it's mystifying. So, for example, I'll give you one that even I struggle with: dark matter.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. It's one of these things where you're told, okay, most of the universe is actually made up of dark matter,
right?
And we can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't feel it, we don't kind of know what it does, we don't know why it exists.
Yeah.
So what am I to make of that?
Well, that's actually a thrilling idea.
Now remember what he just said.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. It's one of these things where you're told, okay, most of the universe is actually made up of dark matter,
right?
And we can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't feel it, we don't kind of know what it does, we don't know why it exists.
Yeah.
So what am I to make of that?
Well, that's actually a thrilling.
Now, did you just hear him? This is the guy that's explaining this entire story, and he says right away, I don't know what it is. We can't see it. We can't measure it. We don't know anything about it. But according to a recent paper, the Earth is caught directly in the crosshairs of a cosmic hurricane. A swarm of nearly 100 stars, accompanied by an even greater amount of dark matter, is aimed directly at our stellar neighborhood, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. In fact, the vanguard is already upon us. Well, that's really strange, isn't it? So suddenly we have a dark matter storm, something we can't see, we can't measure, we can't feel, we can't detect, but it's on its way right now, and as a matter of fact, it's already at the door. We live in such a state right now that if you don't think that this is anything but biblical, I do not know what to tell you. Because the universe is made up of dark matter. The universe is heaven, and maybe the other layers of heaven. We can't go up. The moon isn't what people think it is. And CERN is trying desperately to kick out the side door and find a way into another dimension, period. Why do you think all this billions and trillions of dollars has gone into this facility? Yet they don't do anything. They don't ever talk about the Big Bang. That was their original mission, to recreate the moments after the Big Bang. And now all they're doing is making YouTube videos. You see what I'm saying? And doing sacrificial things, so forth and so on, and answering my allegations in newspapers. Oh, you didn't know about that? Go back a couple of years. The videos are still up. At any rate, this is from one of my subscribers, 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗍, and she asked me to do this. Richie, there's a lady on YouTube who has weekly prayers for the lost on Sunday night. Maybe you could give her a shout out sometime. Her name is Nicole. Her channel is Lighting Fires for Christ, and her email is lightingfiresforchrist@gmail.com. Also, if you send her a list of names of relatives and friends who are lost, she will make sure she names each name on her Sunday night broadcast, 7 Central Time, and they will be lifted up in prayer. So spread the word. It's awesome seeing Christians actually standing together and lifting up names of the lost. No fighting, no sex or differences mentioned. Only naming the lost and lifting them up to our God, Jesus Christ. Thanks, and send your family's names into Millie, Richie from Boston. Links will be in the description. We are in some strange times. I'm out.